Come in.
Good morning, Bishop Khan. I was instructed to come here by Madam Mata. She says that you wanted to talk with me.
Ah, yes. I had you summoned because I heard some rumors over a suspicious book of yours.
There's nothing to be worried about, Bishop Khan. It's just an emperor's tale.
Well, that's something we will find out in a moment. May I see it?
Yes, Bishop Khan.
Oh no. Oh no. Who gave you this?
Some blue skin at Chena was giving them away in the market district.
They did it! They fucking did it! They found a way to reach them! Those goddamn whips!
Am I in trouble, Bishop Khan?
Call me that shit again and I will bomb you out of this franchise!
Can I get my book back?
Oh hell no! The book stays with me for further scrutiny and report to the Inquisition. You should feel very ashamed for this transgression. You will be sentenced to join the ranks of the Sister Repentia for this.
Oh yes!
The current ones, not the peanut version, you horny idiot.
Aww. Baka!
Hey! Come back here! Do you want me to strap you into a penitent engine?
Joke's on you, Bishop Khan. I'm into that.
Ah, shame. Those girls are gonna kill me one of these days.
So it's been more than a month since the last video and you're probably wondering, where tutorial OC? But do not worry, because I wasn't wasting my time. Just got this humongous commission work I'm about to show you. If you've been following my activity through my social media, you already know what it's all about. Partially because I'm horrible at keeping secrets and I can do nothing about it. But I also like to stay active in those because whenever I have a commission settled, they call other commissions in, resulting in more content for the channel. Also, that reminds me, I can't recall when was the last time I worked on my personal collection. Yeah, wow, it's been almost a year now. But you know what else took me a lifetime to complete? That's right, introducing the Sisters of the Greater Good. The Webesa is the name the Tau have given to those humans who have willingly joined the Tau Empire, and are believed by the Ecclesiarchy to have been spiritually corrupted for willingly associating themselves with Xeno culture. I know I might have upset some loyalist players with my work, but you know me, I'm doing wordsmith's work. I was given almost full creative control over the poses and equipment. I like to play with the idea that Tau couldn't convince this one into joining them if they didn't provide her with some chainsword of some sort. The rather looking one is actually the tallest of the squad. I'm not sure what happened at the time of assembly, it looked kinda odd. So I had to pin it in order to address the situation and extend her waist. For the heavy weapon sister, I used an XB8 burst cannon. I think using an XB25 would have fit the scale better. But it looks so ridiculously over the top, I actually love the way it is right now. In order to give them more melee prowess, we decided to give a couple of sisters some halberds, using some Great Knight spears and a Militarum Tempestus Scion blade, to match the original art that inspired this project. You might have noticed there's a difference in color between sections of the green stuff. Sometimes I like to have a color difference so the areas don't blend together. I wasn't too fond on the helmet design from the artwork, so I wanted to give it a go. I made a sketch for my customer to approve, and resulted in 2 brand new helmets for these girls. Now, let's talk about the sculpting process. As expected, I used both a Fire Warrior cast and a Retributor squad as the main kits for this job. Initially, this was calculated to take about 22 hours, but man, am I bad at math. I've never had any of these models in my hands, so I didn't anticipate there was going to be a scale difference between the Fire Warriors and the Sister Squad. I've spent the first 10 hours cutting and erasing details from the miniatures, getting them ready to sculpt. But not only that, these girls do not want to be put together any different than what the instruction says. So the final hour count was more around 40 to 50 hours. But considering it is a 10-woman squad, those are not bad numbers at all. I didn't have enough time to fit both this and a tutorial in the same month. So I would like to know what you think of this new format in the comments down below. Every feedback is good, but I do warn you, the wig stays on no matter what you say. So I filed down most of the leg section. If I want to rebuild the armor, I need very thin legs. Let's say that for a new volume to fit in, the old one needs to go. 1 done, 9 more to go. For sculpting the armor, I chose to mix green stuff with milliput standard in a 50-50 ratio. Man, I always mix too much when working with hybrid beauties, and I always end up with huge leftovers. But I get basic rocks, which is nice. Anyways, I planned working in 2 batches of 5, knowing the hybrid mix allows for a longer curing time up to 4 hours instead of 2. Also, green stuff per se isn't very friendly with cutting and sanding, 2 musts when it comes to sharp edges and smooth surfaces. This mix combines the goods of both and becomes super stiff once it dries. I chose to work in sections to minimize fuck-ups. One night I would do the chest, abs and right leg, and the next day I would do back and left leg. These sessions were focused on just getting the volumes right, and revisiting them every 30 minutes for an initial smoothing until they dried completely. The next day I would take some time in quality control. I was looking for cracks and other depressions that would get worse if I tried to sand them. Taking photos helps to enhance the mistakes, as something might not be too much of a big deal at first glance. Those need to be filled with more beauty. But you know what else needs to be filled with more people? Consider supporting the channel via Patreon. It will make me less dependent on commissions for the content, and add more variety for the tutorials instead of having to work with Timmy and Jerry all the time. Also, it will give you access to the Discord server where you can share your works, and I will give you feedback on how to improve them. In addition, you will be able to influence on what you wanna see next, or if you just want to give me a hand, it would help me out with materials and keep my wig collection growing. After 24 hours, I would cut the surfaces with a brand new blade. This is what will give me those super sleek sharp edges from the Tau armor. Then, I would wet sand them with 400mm sandpaper to hide the blade markings. I would wash all the dust with a cheap toothbrush, as the dust can solidify in the recesses later, making it a nightmare to remove. And last but not least, I will revisit the edges with the blade so I could sharpen them again. Think of it like when we apply an oil wash. Afterwards, we usually raise the light back again with the original color or highlights, this process behaves in the same way. It was time then to build the arms, and I was welcomed with more issues. I wanted to maintain the tunic from the sisters' arms, but the Tau have enormous elbows compared to the sisters. Also, I didn't know back then, but the Tau have 4 fingers. We discussed this and we chose to leave this as is. I've tried before, and there's no point on adding a single finger, as most of the time it will fall off, and I don't believe they would survive the transport either. For me to do it properly, I would have to scrap the hand and sculpt 4 fingers from the same blob. But between scrapping and sculpting, it would have taken around 5 extra hours. It just wasn't worth the time and money for such a tiny detail. Maybe it could be a self-infringed punishment for deviating from the Emperor's Light, I don't know. I like to attach the heads to a drill handle so I can move it more freely. But haircuts is a thing we will cover in more detail in another video. And I was done. The customer let me paint one for this video so I could show you the end results. The color scheme is inspired by the samurais from the Oda Klein in blue and gold. I enjoyed this project a lot, but I couldn't see the day to have it finished. From it, I have learned a lot of things that would help me grow as an artist in the future, and I'm very thankful for that. So, we arrived to the end of this video. If you wanna help a serviton down here, share this video with your gaming groups and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, I've been Obsessive Converter. Stay safe, heretics!